Welcome to another episode of Cinematic Anarchy, the podcasting equivalent of that one employee that keeps bringing Sam into the office to microwave. With me today, we have Matt and Rachel of the Strange and Beautiful Book Club podcast.
That's us.
Yeah, one of you. Hi. And the artist formerly known as Blunt Bob, or are we going with Blunt Bob today?
Formerly known.
Okay. Heavy Metal Healer.
I don't know what the future holds.
You don't know?
None of us do.
Mm-mm.
Are we leaning into the Heavy
I
Metal
thought you would be like,
thing,
and Blunt Bob of Blunt Bob.
Blunt Bob, who is Blunt Bob. And who is also the person that chose our film today. You want to tell us what it is you had us watch?
The Game with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn. It's actually a really interesting movie. You got Michael what is his name? Michael Douglas. He's this guy who has everything. So what do you get for the guy to have everything? A game.
A greeting card.
A greeting card.
Because we did Girlfriend's Day.
Oh, is that today?
Indeed.
So,
here I am, today, I watched the wrong damn movie again.
I could have watched The Game. God.
Missed out.
So, since today was Mother's Day and we did something for Mother's Day last year, I thought it would be good to do something themed. And since Mother's Day is a fake Hallmark holiday, I thought Girlfriend's Day is the perfect movie because that's the plot. It's hard to just describe the plot though, because it's weird. It's a satire. It's a crime drama. It takes place in a fictional world that doesn't really exist, where greeting cards are like one of the biggest forms of art.
I mean, there's some serious greeting card groupies in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a bar devoted to greeting card writers.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they felt that was a form of poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I guess. In some cases.
I mean, these days, AI can do all that.
I mean, that's very true.
I did
you
like
don't
the
need
conceit.
much.
I liked the conceit of gift card writers are like rock stars. Like, oh my God, are you that guy? Are you the guy that wrote?
There's groupies
like,
for
everybody knew the greeting card writers by name.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines is, "Oh, you know the guy who does Optimistic Al?" And he goes, "He knows me." But it's funny how it turns into this crime drama.
The writer's name on the back of the card in this world.
I don't know. They just know. Yeah, it does. It goes into a crime drama, but like, sort of, like randomly.
Also, I think it's worth mentioning that the whole point of it too is that they're creating a new holiday called Girlfriend's Day. And that ties into why we're doing it.
Which technically exists.
The government interfering in the market.
Is Girlfriend's Day a real day?
Yes and no. Not this version of Girlfriend's Day. More of a girl who has other girlfriends kind of day.
Oh.
Which is
they got a holiday. Every day of the year is a holiday for something.
Yeah.
However, there is a Boyfriend's Day on October 3rd.
Is there a boy band day?
Boyfriend's Day?
A boy band day. I feel like I've never seen cards for, I don't know. I'm not the one to ask about greeting cards. I hate greeting cards. So this was a pretty funny movie. I think they're so pointless. And then to watch a movie where it's like, these people are like rock stars. And he's like the best greeting card writer for 3 years in a row. And then he writes that one card. And I love that we don't know what the card says. His magnum opus card.
Hey, did the recording reset? I just saw a timer again.
No.
I think we're good.
Not on our end. We're still good.
All right. So May 2nd is Boy Band Appreciation Day.
That's when I could get a card for.
There you
go.
Coincidentally, the day that they have as Girlfriend's Day, which is August the 1st, is followed up on August 2nd for National Ex-Girlfriend's Day.
Mm.
Really?
So we don't have a day for girlfriends. However, we do have a day for when you break up with them.
After you break up with them.
Or after you break up with them. We
What
celebrate
is
the
that
ones we broke it off with, I guess.
What does that card say? Dodged a bullet. Have a
Well,
great day.
apparently, according to Google AI, August 1st is National Girlfriend's Day.
Right, but it's supposed to be girlfriends as in a girl who has other friends that are girls.
Celebrates the friendship and bond between women.
Yes.
It is also International Al Barino Day, International Child Free Day, Lugan Nasad, which is a pagan holiday, Respect for Parents Day, World Lung Cancer Day, World Wide Web Day, Swiss National Day, National Raspberry Cream Pie Day, International Beer Day, Benign Independence Day, Benin, Nanchang Uprising,
True.
Emancipation Day in Canada, Civic Holiday in
opposed to,
Canada, and Summer Bank Holiday in Scotland.
As opposed to a malignant Independence Day.
Busy day. Benign. Yes.
Yeah.
Benign, yes.
Acknowledges the independence of Benin.
So, technically, August 1st, National Girlfriend's Day, also coincides with National Childless Day or Child-Free Day.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm totally celebrating that from now on.
Are we talking people without children or people that have found a babysitter?
Acknowledges and celebrates people who choose not to have children.
Yes.
Oh.
There's a good 5 of us out there.
There's many.
Oh, there are plenty.
Yeah.
It took me a while to find a woman who didn't want kids in her 30s.
I have a few friends that if I had run across them when they had their kids, I wouldn't have had them at all.
Missed a learning opportunity.
Now it's too late.
Well, I mean, I like my kids, but it's other people's kids sometimes I have problems with, It's, no.
August 1st is the anniversary of the invention of the World Wide Web. Does that technically exist? Is the internet still the World Wide Web?
I mean, we still start everything with www.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it just says HTTPS.
I was going to say HTTPS. When was that invented?
www as a prefix has
Right.
gone out of style.
When is HTTPS Day? Let's see.
No, I have no idea.
Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
Yeah.
Secure.
Well, now I have an answer for that question. I had no idea what it was.
I knew Matt would know.
Did you give up on looking for that? We were waiting on you to give us the answer. You asked when national HTTPS day was, and I was like,
"Oh, no, I couldn't find anything."
Oh, okay.
No,
but what I really like about this movie is that you got a movie written, directed, and starring Bob Odenkirk, who I think is a genius. I love that he tied bum fights into this because I actually have a bum fights DVD somewhere.
So I actually recognize Shitfoot.
Was Shitfoot really real on bum fights?
No. Shitfoot was actually I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show The Ranch, the one on Netflix.
Yeah.
But Shitfoot was one of the drunk bar patrons that was like a running joke throughout that entire show.
So one of the greatest moments in television was when Dr. Phil brought on the creator of Bum Fights so that he can exploit him for exploiting other people for his own gain. And the dude shows up dressed as Dr. Phil with a shaved head to prove that Dr. Phil does the same exact thing he does.
I mean, he does on a more national level.
Yeah,
not
vulnerable people for his own benefit. Yeah,
exactly.
But that was one of the greatest moments in television.
It's kind of what a lot of talk show hosts did.
He's like, you want to expose me for exploiting people for my own game? Well, you do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, he's not wrong.
But yeah, I do have a DVD of Bum Fights somewhere. I figured, maybe it'll be worth something one day.
I think Jerry Springer perfected that game, and then Dr. Phil just kind of rode the coattails almost a decade later.
Yep.
I want it to be known. I don't support bum fights, but I also want it to be known I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, kinda.
Making homeless people fight each other, that's a horrible thing to do. Kind of funny. Just the concept alone is just kind of
See,
humorous.
it's funny, like in the movie, like as
Yeah,
a
like, and then they
reference
ask why he
to-
watches it, and he goes, "It calms me." Mhm.
I'm not going to actively search out for a video or anything to that nature, but seeing it passively, I was like, okay, I can
I did.
understand. You did?
It was used, so the money didn't go back to the people that made it.
No. No?
I don't think so. When you buy something used, it's just the seller gets the money,
Right.
not the
Yeah.
I mean,
not the
that's
company.
Yeah.
I'd only ever buy a Harry Potter book used.
Correct.
I mean, do you even want to
Yeah.
give money to the person that would sell that used, though?
I mean,
No, but I feel like that's an obscure thing that could be worth a good amount of money one day. It's like people who collect Nazi memorabilia.
This is actually my son's excuse for buying certain CDs and or movies from artists that he actively hates. I like the music, I like what they did, but them as people I do not like, so I will not purchase it new because it would put money in their pocket, but I will purchase it used.
this is an interesting philosophy.
Well, I want to
Holding
read
on
the
to
Harry
this
Potter
because
books.
it's so hated. Someday it's going to be
Mm.
rare.
Right. The people that
Well,
haven't
it was
burnt
hard
it
to
or
find a
melted it
copy.
down.
Yeah.
It was hard
Well,
to find
Harry
a copy
Potter's
of it.
Harry Potter's different. Harry Potter's just I don't want to support the trash.
I don't want to
creator.
support her.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen a physical copy of Bum Fights, ever.
That's why I bought one.
Because it's going to be rare.
I never
Who knows? One
watched
of
it.
these bums might have made it big. Invested that $20 in something, you know.
Oh my God.
And can you sign this so I can increase the value? I've never watched it.
I don't know how I would approach somebody like that. It's like, I know you. Can you sign this?
Hey, you shit
No,
brick.
I can't.
Mm.
Are you shitfoot?
Shit foot.
I love how
Shitfoot,
this
yeah.
was such a small part of this movie and it has occupied so much space in this discussion.
Well,
I
it's
like
it's
that
such
in the
a-
middle of the movie, he's walking down the street with his soon-to-be girlfriend that's not his girlfriend, and he
Yeah.
sees Shitfoot, and he's just like, Shitfoot.
Shitfoot? Yeah, and he's on
Then
TV
the ending
early
too. He
in
sees him
the-
again.
Yeah, and he gives a card with some
It's
quarters
nice.
in it.
It's nice that the ending of the movie was basically his dime tree putting a smile on Shitfoot's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little pocket.
I did like
pocket
when he
money.
walks in and he's like, "I got how about a dime tree?" And he's like pulling out all the old style cards. They're like, "They're
So what do
dated,
you-
man. Can't do
wanna
that
give a-
anymore."
Dime tree to somebody? Well, it's good for like a person that you love that you might owe money to.
So a card that says, "Dear wife," that's it. I just like to say, "Dear wife, happy anniversary."
Oh, the point wasn't that they were good cards. It was that they were bad
Well,
cards. And these
I
people are
love the
still
one
famous.
that he actually writes. We never actually see, which is good.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the best way to do it.
Yeah, when he wrote it, I was like, I hope we never actually see it. We only ever get people's reactions to it as this is literally the best thing ever, and they followed through on that.
Mm-hmm.
I also love that
Sure.
this whole movie, nobody's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Like Bob
I mean-
Odenkirk, who played nobody, who plays the biggest badass.
Well,
Yeah.
I was telling Rachel, I envisioned this as like nobody as like a sleeper agent before they give him the trigger word, just being an absolute nobody.
It's a better
He does get
canon
hit in the
event.
head once.
Well, he gets beat up a lot, but he's like we haven't seen nobody. That's why Matt doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I like it better than John Wick.
This is just
Yeah.
an alternate universe where nobody was forced to be a sad sack card writer until they triggered him.
No, it's an alternate universe where instead of becoming a lawyer, Saul becomes a greeting card writer.
A good one, where they're
Right.
like, yeah,
The best in the game.
yeah, at AAA.
I thought he was like the
Card
second
writing.
best in the game. I thought
He was
Yeah.
the best
Tap.
in like 05, 06, and 07.
3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was definitely more Taft on that wall than anything else.
Then he got divorced and it screwed everything up.
Yeah,
But he got
do you
joint
feel the
custody of the
feelings
cat.
anymore? I know. I like that. You're not still picking up the cat, are you? Oh, that's right. I gotta go now. He goes to get the cat. We never
Don't
see
Joint
you
the cat
mention
custody
again.
of the
but-
cat.
Oh, it was
Okay,
like
I
a
hold
thought
on.
that
I
was
have a
hilarious.
question. In that scene where he goes and picks up his cat for the joint custody setup, he walks in there with that guy's kid, but does not walk back out with the kid, only the cat.
He calls the kid after he walks
Like-
out with the cat, and
Yeah,
then he's like, "Oh shit, the kid!" And then he calls, and the kid pops out of a side room, and the lady's like, "What? Where did he come from?"
Just left the cat. We'll take the cat, leave the kid behind. He didn't even realize.
Yeah,
He realized, he went back
So-
and he opened the door again to get the call the kid.
So I used to love Andrew Dice Clay. I used to love Andrew Dice Clay, and I usually watch everything he comes out with. And he had a reality show where he's going to see his divorce attorney in one scene, and he goes, "Your wife, he wants the dog," and he goes, "Okay, do I get to see the dog?" And he goes, "You want joint custody of the dog? Is that what you're asking?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess."
Okay, wait.
So it's that
Andrew
joke.
Dice Clay had a reality show?
Yeah, called Dice Undisputed, I think.
Right. Now that's where I needed you to roll it back because I didn't even realize that he had a reality show.
So
There were
as someone
many
who's half
random cameos.
half Jewish and half Italian, I love how Andrew Dice Clay is a Jew trying to pretend he's Italian. So it's funny when he would just like on the reality show, he would try to act all oh. But then sometimes the Jewiness would slip out. He'd be like, "Goodbye, Todd. Goodbye."
Is that cultural appropriation?
Mm.
I don't know why he wanted to be Italian so much, but that guy's Jewish.
I mean, I don't know if they call it cultural appropriation when it's technically white stealing from white.
Yeah, that's a good point. I heard that Jamaicans don't care about culture appropriation. They're like, "You want to wear our shit? That's cool. Wear our shit."
As long as you buy
Yeah.
it from him, sure.
Yeah, they're like, "That's cool. You buy shit and you wear it. We got no problem with that."
I have met a couple of Jamaican gentlemen that actively complain when white guys are around with dreadlocks.
Well, that's a little different. It's not like a tie-dye T-shirt. It's
Yeah,
like
the
a-
dreadlocks versus like a Rasta hat or shirt or that's different. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's more effort. A lot
Yeah.
more effort than just throwing some clothes on.
Right. Yeah. But it's also, like
Also-
a traditional.
I mean, is it cultural appropriation if you just like the hairstyle? Like, I
Yeah.
like how this looks on me.
I don't know that this is
I
the
wouldn't know.
podcast where we answer that question.
Yeah, I think there's probably a little bit too much white in this particular podcast to try to get that
That's
answer.
what I'm getting at here.
We got to phone a friend.
Yeah, we would have to bring in.
Somebody with
Going
a
back-
little bit more melanin than we have represented here.
Yeah, I would just go with the safe answer, which is probably let's just not do that thing.
I'm
think
not
it's
doing it. I'm just wondering.
I think it's funny that I'm the one that keeps trying to get us back on topic because I'm usually the one who has the tangents. But
This was a
Did you
short
guys know-
movie.
did you guys know that Bob Odenkirk did a live stage reading of The Room? And they did not copy performances at all. They did it like they made it their own.
No, I
I did
I
not
did
know
not
that.
know that.
I watched the high mark
Thanks so
scene,
much.
and like Bob Odenkirk just plays it now. How he would normally play a role.
You're going to have to send me a link for that because that actually does sound interesting.
Yeah, because he was like, I think he did one of those live things where they stream at the theaters. But I was watching it. It
have
was just-
something over on YouTube or something.
yeah, I watched the clip on YouTube, I think. But it was like, he's just like, I did not hit her. I did not hit her. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. Oh, hey, Mark.
Okay. Oh,
Like, it's so weird seeing like good actors read those lines and they're still bad, but the scene seems significantly better.
Yes.
but they're good actors doing bad acting.
Yeah.
So-
No,
I think
they're doing it completely straight. Like they're putting on
Oh.
a real performance.
So they're actually trying to make it good.
Yeah. Which makes it significantly better, but still bad.
It's like,
And I
okay,
think
well,
he
I
I
can
think he
tolerate
held
that.
this movie together because otherwise this plot is a hot mess.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you have some good cameos. You got a really strong lead actor. And I think that's kind of, it makes sense that he wrote it and directed it because he knew what he was going for.
I mean, I like Stacy Keach and everything that he does.
Oh, me too.
It's like I don't think I've ever seen a bad Stacy Keach role. I've seen bad TV shows and films that he's been in, but not a bad role that he's done.
My dad said that he got tired of watching him in Prison Break because he didn't like the way he was talking through false teeth.
That's fair. I will
I
drop
mean-
something because I don't like somebody's teeth. Absolutely. In a
Especially,
heartbeat.
yeah, especially as a vampire fan.
Yeah, I can't. If someone has weird teeth, I can't do it.
I always think of Escape from LA when I think of Stacy Keach.
Right? Or Mike Hammer.
Oh, yeah.
I liked him in that. He played Christopher Titus's dad on the Titus Show back when he was on Fox.
Oh yeah.
He plays
So-
grumpy dads pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time until every actor in Hollywood has a Marvel role. What role would you think Bob Odenkirk's role would be?
Bob Odenkirk.
Evil Phil.
If it was like DC, I'd say like Sergeant Rock, but we're just doing Marvel.
I don't know. That's actually a good question. The question.
He would have been like a good old school Nick Fury.
No, is that DC? The question. I believe so.
Yes.
No, the original question was.
Oh, but
Marvel.
you're
No,
so
the
right,
question,
though.
The question is.
You're so right, though. He would be a
Media.
great question.
Was that
Superman?
Marvel originally?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, the question? Because I read a origin novel. Because he's kind of similar to like the Shadow.
I do like the Shadow. That one I know. Look at one.
Yeah, his first appearance was so he was originally. I think he was originally Charlton Comics, and then I think DC bought them out.
Okay.
And his first appearance was in the Blue Beetle. But you're right, though. That would be a great Bob Odenkirk role.
That's the first thing that popped into my mind. Like, what would he fit into seamlessly? And I think the question would be right up his alley. I mean, obviously, you'd obscure his face for the most part, but
Yeah.
because if I'm not mistaken, his face is that the
You
guy
could
that
put
I'm thinking
him
of
in,
that's
like-
just featureless?
He could be Magneto.
I mean,
I
he might
don't-
have to bulk up a little bit. Magneto's not like slight of frame.
Yeah. I also think, I think he'd be better with like a Lex Luthor type role. If he's going to play
More
a
of
villain.
Mhm.
Smart villain.
Yeah,
I
he
can
does
see that.
clever bad guy
Evil genius.
really well.
Give it like a few days, they'll probably announce it.
How about like an older Elastic Man?
Old Man
Oh,
Logan.
bad.
Bob Odenkirk as Old Man Logan? Okay. I mean,
not
I'm not sure
that
how that would
tall.
work, but I'd definitely be curious to see that. There any actors you didn't like in the film?
I mean, it was so short. Besides
So
Bob, they all kind of pop in and pop out.
I didn't like the other writers in his office.
One of them is
Okay.
Flo from the
Yeah,
Picasso
Flo.
ads.
It's funny because she was an angel and she worked for
She was the archives.
Wolfram and Hart. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the archives. I am the
I like
archives.
how she
Rich-
didn't quite get that insult at the beginning where he was like, yeah, she was a fan of your stuff.
Yeah. Rich Sommer, his role felt kind of wasted, but I really liked him in the show In the Dark. Amber Tamlin, she was good for the role. Her acting is just kind
Yeah.
of, I don't know, she kind of, I guess she's kind of the same in everything, which kind of takes me away. But I think for this role, she definitely fit. I feel like there was a huge age gap between them.
Yeah, there's like 21 years.
I just noticed that there is some music playing in the background over here. No, I didn't.
Henry Richter was a funny cameo.
Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I've got to correct the situation.
Okay. Handle the situation.
I want to continue, but I mean, I gotta correct a quick situation.
I didn't catch Ed Begley Jr. as the butler.
There were so many people that just literally showed up for like 2 scenes and then disappeared.
Yeah, because I don't remember him being there.
I don't think I particularly like Natasha Lyonne in this, honestly.
That was a really short, like, kind of thrown away
short role.
I think short would
And it
describe.
didn't feel like her normal characters she normally plays.
Right. So I mean I think everybody did all right for what they did within the film. It's just her role that I really didn't like as Mrs. Taft.
Yeah. The horny widow. It was it was fine. This movie was just like Bob Odenkirk. Bob Odenkirk goes on an adventure and punches some people and catches a guy getting murdered.
The first in the middle kind of felt like Falling Down.
It did feel a little bit like Falling Down. Yeah.
The score was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was well put together. It was just like, I mean, it was a guy who writes greeting cards who can't write greeting cards, who gets framed for a murder, who ends up finding a girlfriend and learning how to write cards again, but then deciding that he doesn't want to do that for a living.
Did that end up actually being his girlfriend, though? I thought that was she was paid to sleep with him.
Yeah.
She was working for Gundy.
Also,
Gundy.
he did not direct it. He wrote, produced, and starred in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
so somebody else directed it. Which I don't know if he ever does direct. I mean, he started out as a writer.
Yeah.
So I found the source of the noise. It was apparently a speaker that randomly turned itself on in the background and started playing music.
Well, good. Music, no less.
I don't think it was identifiable, and I'm hoping it didn't bleed into the feed so that it does not cause certain things to get cut off and not
demonetized.
Posted.
I did like how much Bob got to punch the bad police officer guy in the face. That was cathartic.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said I feel like he was nobody. He was nobody. He's just a sleeper agent at this point.
He even broke his cast. He even broke his own cast off.
And just ripped it off.
Did that? That's nobody level action, kind of, sort of.
See, like the verse, like John Wick is very choreographed, like and a lot of very head shooty, and nobody is just him ripping people apart.
Well, that's kind of what.
And it's funny that like
the connection.
And they're roughly around the same age, Bob Odenkirk and Keanu, but Keanu's just amazing, in every way. But like. It was more me because it was more punchy. It was more like the soundtrack. It wasn't like club music. It was more like classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that I have ever watched Bob Odenkirk in that made me think that he could have pulled off that role. And when he did, I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was another thing. You never thought that Bob Odenkirk in a John Wick spin-off action film. And
kind of how I feel about Vince Vaughn. And if you've seen Cell Block 99...
Yeah, well, so it makes sense because, one, Vince Vaughn started out as a serious actor. But to me, it makes sense Vince Vaughn playing that role because Vince Vaughn is a big dude.
Right.
Like, it's funny how Terry Crews isn't really an action star. He mostly does comedy.
But, like, everything that he's, like, put himself in lately has been, hey, you know what? We need a kind of douchey buddy in this film. Who's that going to be?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Vince Vaughn's available. Let's do that, you know?
He replaced Bob Einstein on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Right? So...
But that's why it made sense to me giving him an action role because he's just a big guy. So it fits.
Makes perfect sense. It doesn't mean that I wasn't any less surprised to watch him in that film.
But yeah, like, nobody also had soul, which John Wick did not have. And I think that comes with the range of the actors. Like Keanu is better as an action star. Bob Odenkirk is, more sympathetic when it comes to his appearances. Like, I mean, look at Saul. There's emotional roller coasters all over the place with that character.
You go ahead and bring up a movie with Keanu Reeves in it that has an emotional roller coaster attached to it, because he's got one emotion, just whoa, that's it.
I'll give you one. I just got to remember the actual title.
To Sandra Bullock. What's that one?
Yeah, the house one.
Oh,
Lake
the
House.
Lake House. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, and then there's one other one I was gonna mention. Let me just find it.
She has plenty of emotions in that movie. He is still low-level calm. Like
even the movie Henry's Crime, he's like super calm in it.
Yeah, Odenkirk definitely has more range on the tragic, morally gray character.
Like, I am really angry. Just
I'm trying to find the movie.
Angry, Keanu.
It's the movie with him and Charlize Theron.
The cat in Keanu has more emotions than Keanu in any Keanu film.
It's called Sweet November.
Okay.
That was I'm not saying he did it well. It was an emotional movie.
He tried.
Just keep in mind,
he's been in some emotional movies. I mean, he was in My Own Private Idaho?
Dracula.
But the thing is, everybody's emotional around him, and he's just like Keanu,
So I think that when they went to do the first Constantine movie, and they made him American, and he was like, I could do an English accent. And they're like, no, we've seen Dracula. We'll do some rewriting.
Never again. Never. Please. I don't know who hired him and was like, this is gonna be fine. And then they started filming, and they were like, can I see his contract?
Okay, what's worse, his English accent in Dracula or his Southern accent in The Devil's Advocate?
Ooh,
that's a tough call.
Oh, I gotta go Dracula.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
Pretty bad.
I'm going with Devil's Advocate because it sounded like he had a chicken bone up his ass.
It was a believable chicken bone, though.
More believable than the
I could fully believe that he had something up his ass during that film.
But also, that was one of Al Pacino's best performances.
Right, which is why I can't fault Keanu too much.
God is an absentee landlord. Hooah!
Okay, who played a better Satan? Al Pacino, Robert De Niro?
All right, so this is a conversation I have frequently because I bring this up. But I say three of the biggest actors of all time from the same generation are Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Jack Nicholson, who have all played the devil.
That's true.
That's right.
So I see your question, and I raise you one Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
Louis Cypher was such a different role than the other two. He was such a creepy role. So performance-wise, they all did a phenomenal job, but I got to go with Pacino because I think it's one of his best roles.
Yeah, I would say that Pacino's role in Devil's Advocate is probably the one that stands out amongst all of them. It's what made that film iconic. So probably one of the films that really gave Charlize Theron a career.
That's because she was naked.
Besides the point.
But yeah, I love Angel Heart. Don't get me wrong. I once paid to see a 35 millimeter print of Angel Heart because I love that movie. Mickey Rourke's probably best role. And he played such a creepy, weird devil in it. And then, of course, you got Nicholson in The Witches of Eastwick, which is a classic. So, and I'll tell you, my favorite performance of the devil is Peter Stormare in Constantine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well established.
100%.
I really liked Mickey Rourke before whatever happened, all over here. But I'm trying to think of a really decent role outside of maybe The Wrestler that he did afterwards.
He didn't have plastic surgery. He had Play-Doh surgery.
Something like that. Whoever got a hold of Michael Jackson got a hold of him.
Yeah.
The Wrestler's fantastic. Barfly. You know, like we said, Angel Heart. But it's like appearance-wise in those three movies, it doesn't look like the same guy.
Damn, they have got the drag strip going in full force out here today.
Yeah, well, it's Sunday.
Yeah, but it's Mother's Day. Stay home, turn your noisemakers off.
Those are the moms speeding off.
Getting away from their kids.
Yes.
Okay, I've had enough of this. Let's leave.
Not to bring it back to Girlfriend's Day, but I did like that scene when he's talking to the guy who owns AAA cards. And he goes, "No, I'm a cynic. You're just cynical."
I love that
scene
line.
was really good.
Yes.
And he's like, "Because you wake up every morning mad the world's not better." And I never thought it would be. And I was
Wait,
like,
he's not the owner.
I like
He's
that.
not the owner of that.
Paper Hearts. I couldn't keep it
No,
straight.
it's his
That
brother.
was
that's
Stacey
in charge of
Keach.
Paper Hearts.
One of them owns Paper
But the-
Hearts and one of them owns
Yeah, the
AAA.
Gundy
They
that
never
comes
showed
to
the brother though, do they?
is AAA.
I don't think so.
No, we only ever refer to him.
Yeah.
The brother
liked
we
that
don't
line a
see, the
lot.
one that owns the
Paper Hearts.
yeah.
I don't know. You'd think it was like it was just over an hour. You'd think I could have kept it all straight, but I did not. I couldn't really tell what was happening, except that they all wanted him to write a card, and they were all trying to kill him, but also get him to write a card. And
pacing
for
in this
some
movie,
reason,
it was 70 minutes, but it should not have been. It should have been an hour and a half because they like raced through it way too fast.
yeah, there
Oh,
was a
you
lot
thought
that
too
I just-
fast?
Oh,
I thought the
think
movie was
to
too
the point
short
they skipped
because
over things that could have been.
yeah, I feel like they
Really
could have done more
fleshed stuff out.
world building, character development, or world building.
Yeah, because you got the former racists who were real. They
Oh,
I wanted more time with them because I wanted to
love
know
that
their story.
dynamic,
They're like, no, we used
especially
to.
since they work for the Gundy guy.
They work for like an elitist guy, but they're anti-elitist now
Yeah.
because hating one whole group of people just takes too much energy. So we're
Those are
reformed
both like
now.
those are both great actors who we've seen, but we don't know their names.
Yeah, they're that guys.
Mhm.
Oh, that guy. I know him from somewhere.
It's like I know
The
you
dude
from
from
something.
Flaked and the dude who got the dude from Flaked and the dude who got peanut butter on his penis. What was the line? He said, "I got peanut butter all over my wiener." I think it's what he said in Halloween.
I have
You're
absolutely
on-
no idea.
Your own. I did like that one of them had a card from their mom that was like when they got out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
As someone whose mom has kept every card that they've ever given you and that you've ever given them, I appreciated that. I still
What
have this
about-
card.
When he's over Stacy Keach's house and he goes, "Is that?" And he goes, "Yeah, the first card from Napoleon. He gave it to his mother."
Yes.
Like,
It's-
I love that that's
Like-
an historic
That
artifact.
universe,
Is the
yeah.
first ever card.
yes, right. Because in this world, cards matter. People care about cards.
Well, and
And
it's
he's like,
funny
"It doesn't
because
feel better."
we live in a world where nobody gives a shit about greeting cards.
Right. That's the funny. That's the conceit.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I picked up a greeting card ever.
Just going through a box of old stuff, but not for shopping.
I always get the free ones that mom gives me. The free ones she gets in the mail. Remember how you used to get free cards? They're
Well-
blank.
Free cards, free like labels to put on your mail. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I
Because
was
they were
looking
hoping to get that
yesterday
one
at the
penny out of you.
cards.
Matt got me an oversized
Yesterday I was looking
card.
at.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh,
get
those
you a
are kind of
card.
cool.
Yeah, one of the really big ones. I had like a glittery mushroom on it. I don't even remember what it said. I don't remember what it was for. Maybe Happy Valentine's
I was
Day?
looking at greeting cards
I think it was for
yesterday, and I'm like, I ain't
Valentine's Day.
spending $7 on a
Oh, they're so
card.
expensive.
I'd rather put that money
so
towards a gift.
Matt's grandmother gives you cards, but she writes a note and sticks it in the card instead of signing it, so then you can reuse it if you want to.
Oh,
Okay.
consider it.
So it'll get a minimum of 2 uses.
Yeah, so you can.
Unless you
Cycle
do the
around
same
it.
thing and pass it on to the next person. So
Mhm.
basically
Right.
regifting in Hallmark form.
Right, but like,
That's considerate.
yeah, it's a here you go. You can reuse the card. Keep the note and then use the card for yourself.
I like when people do that with gift bags where they don't sign the tag so that I can just
Yeah.
kind of put that away and use, or I could just rip the tag off. One of the two.
Oh yeah.
You know what's
everybody
funny
has a
about
gift
this
bag,
movie?
gift bag.
You got 2 big greeting card companies in the movie, right? And
Yeah.
in reality, there are 2 big greeting card companies.
Yes. Hallmark and American Greetings.
Yeah. So it's funny that they had
Neither.
these two big companies.
Yeah. They're like rivals. They're trying to kill this guy. They did kill a man. I love that he's like, how's your novel going? Well, I've got three pages, 3 chapters? No, 3 words.
I like that one of the major companies is literally just named Ah,
Yeah.
which is how I feel every time I look at the greeting card aisle anyway.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah, I'm looking at him like, I'm only paying $7 for a greeting card. I got my mom a watermelon slicer, not a
I
greeting
go to the
card.
99-cent area
Nice.
every time. If I'm going to buy a greeting card, it's like there's perfectly usable ones in the 99-cent area.
Yeah.
I
I
don't need a
usually do that,
$15
but it was
greeting
like,
card.
I think Mother's Day, they only had like the marked up ones for where at the supermarket I was at. And I wanted to get my sister-in-law a card because it's her first Mother's Day. By the way, Rachel, happy fake Hallmark holiday.
Oh, thank you.
So going back to the nameless, supposedly racist guys in this film, or the
Reformed
racist guys in
yeah.
this film, they
Now
brought
they
up a
hate
nice
elitists.
debate. What is the worst area to get a paper cut, the pee hole or the eyeball?
Oh my God.
Yo, that scene. So Matt, I'm gonna.
the pee hole.
I want Matt
You
to
can
answer
keep your
this.
eyes closed,
Oh.
but you have to pee eventually.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
It's gonna sting
That's fair.
every time, multiple
So-
times a day, unless you really hold it, and then you get.
This is also where the name of that greeting card company comes in.
The inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I
as me and Matt discussed, I'm gonna go with the pee hole
Yeah,
because we had a long
I'm gonna-
discussion about that.
I think it's going to probably be unanimous because, I mean, you can close your eye, just put a patch over it, be done. It'll heal after a while, but the first time you have to use the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but I'm going, yep, I sympathize.
Well, I've come a long way in life. I can hold these pliers and not be afraid they're gonna pinch my dick.
Okay,
progress.
well,
I'm lying.
that's a lot of progress.
I'm lying. I'm
annoying.
still afraid they're gonna pinch my dick. So, and to be clear, it's not this part that scares me. It's this part. Matt, do you agree about the bottom part being worse?
Oh yeah, pinch point. The like puncturing, piercing bits. That's the scary part.
Okay, you're going to get.
I never thought I'd go throughout my life and meet another person who has an irrational fear of having his dick pinched by random tools. But Matt, we found each other.
Is it really irrational though?
So I'm glad you asked that.
I think that's fairly rational to be afraid that something is going to injure you in a way that that would be a nightmare, period.
It's a legitimate fear. It's a legitimate fear, but it's an irrational phobia because why would me and Matt be walking through a hardware aisle with our dicks out and still somehow get pinched by one of the pliers?
That's a good question. Why?
Hopefully that is irrational, yes.
Yeah, security. There's two pantsless guys in the pliers aisle.
Your brain that generates worst case scenarios is like, okay, what if a series of events happened and you got pantsed in the hardware aisle and then like stumbled against the shelf and suddenly pliers coming at you,
just throwing themselves at you.
It's possible. It could happen.
You've never found yourself pantsless in the middle of the plier aisle after about half a bottle of tequila?
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. It's not a no. It's not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. The employees show up to tell you to put your pants on. You're like, ma'am, this is exposure therapy. Sorry, I'm medically licensed.
Well, I think I told you guys. I went to an exposure therapy, like an ERP therapist for OCD, and I asked him, like, I said, I have a fear of getting my dick pinched by pliers. How would we, do that in the therapy? And he goes, all right, well, we go in the other room and we would grab the pliers and put them near your dick. And each time we get closer and closer to your dick. I'm like, the therapist just said dick. But I didn't want to ask. I'm like, are my pants on in this scenario?
Hopefully.
Are you in the room?
Now the therapist is going to
Now,
leave
at
you
this
alone
particular-
in the room with no pants and pliers.
I don't have the irrational fear of pliers, I'll tell you that. But after this movie, I might be growing an irrational fear of being pantsless in the Hallmark aisle.
Mm.
I
So,
also love that this topic actually fits in. Like, it's not off topic this time. Last time it was off topic. This time, because we're talking about having a paper cut in your pee hole.
You didn't have to reach for that dick joke at all. It's right there.
Nope, it was right there. They gave
Part
it
of the
to
plot.
you.
Yeah. Dick was right there. It's like right here, like right in my face, like right there.
they're just thrusting it at us.
Uh-huh. I'm so happy to be present for this conversation.
I also love that I have not been on this podcast in a year. And last time I did like my magnum opus of trolling, where I did we did top 5 worst movie moms, and I came on with only Catherine O'Hara roles. Then I proceeded to talk about Kevin Bacon's penis for an hour, and I got Dan to be so disgusted that he just quit the call.
I believe that's actually part of the name of the episode too. It's like whatever, bad moms and Kevin Bacon's penis.
Yeah.
That was
Bacon.
That was the peak trolling. Like, nobody can ever top that type of trolling.
It's too bad we didn't have video back then.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that just means that you got to come on and do some serious trolling now that we have video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with something. I couldn't think. I did it. I did the Michael Douglas thing. That was my
Good opener. I thought, damn, I could have watched the game instead of this.
Well, I mean, for about 5 seconds, I was like, "Wait a minute, we didn't know, did we?" Yeah, and I don't know if you saw. I was going like, "Oh yeah, no, we talked about this. He's doing a bit right now."
Yeah, yeah.
So I've seen this movie 4 times. Once when I first saw it. Second time
when you twice saw it.
Well, the second time was when I wanted to prove that movie existed. And it did exist, because I'm like, wait, did that movie really exist? And I watched it again. I'm like, yeah, that movie existed. And the third time, because me and an ex were watching Nobody, and I put that in as like our second movie to watch. We had like a little mini Bob Odenkirk marathon. And then the fourth time was last night for this.
I have watched it 3 times in 3 days.
Wow.
So the first time I watched it, I was not coherent enough to remember a damn thing about it, because literally on Thursday I was laid up fucking sick as hell. And then I watched it twice today.
Well, you work at a school, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I'm a teacher now, and I get sick all the time. It's brutal.
Wait, you're a teacher?
Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
I mean, what grade are you teaching?
I'm certified K through 12,
Okay.
but I stick with the younger grades. I prefer third.
You're not teaching them the dick jokes, are you?
Well, I say pee and wee. I try to keep it, politically correct.
Okay, that's a yes.
There's a reason why I go by Blunt Bob here, and then I go by Mr. K there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody putting the two together.
No.
No.
I mean, it's out on the internet eventually.
People have tied Blunt Bob with my actual name before, though. It's hard to keep them separate. And then people will like say my last name in like a post, like Blunt Bob. I'm not saying it. And then I'll be like, the point of Blunt Bob is so they don't know the last name. Why you put the two together?
Mm-hmm.
No. They're outing you.
Yeah, doxing
Well,
you.
I mean, and that's what we call compartmentalization, because I'm also a spiritual coach and a, faith healer. So
This person is not this person is not this person.
we all have
Bob
dimensions and
contains
levels.
multitudes.
Layers, like a parfait.
Or an onion.
Just granola and yogurt.
Sorry, I have no layers. This dork is just this dork.
So when I get a cup of yogurt and pour granola onto it, is it now a parfait?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. It's better if you layer them, but if you just got 2 layers, that's still layers.
That's
Still
true.
complexity. Mm-hmm.
I think the two always just go well together, yogurt. And granola's good in milk, too.
Mm-hmm.
No onion.
Dick jokes to parfait. Got everything today.
Right.
Well, and
Anything-
that's why, I think I'm departing Blunt Bob, because who I am now and who I was are really not the same. It's just more of a performance. The man you see in front of you. But I want to do the last monologue from American Psycho.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I was
mean,
trying to getting at.
How did this movie end? He's like
Did it?
movie-
driver's ed,
And he
he
saw
He's writing
Shitfoot
in his garage.
again.
yeah.
That's the card that Shitfoot was digging for. It
Yeah.
ended with
Oh,
a
yeah.
smile from Shitfoot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't
So-
know where this character started and where he ended. He started unable to write cards. He
But
finally,
employed.
and then he got fired, and then he
Divorced,
found a
jobless,
girlfriend.
And
Well,
with
he
a hand
kind of found a
laceration.
girlfriend. Well, he had.
Anyway.
He found.
Hairless.
The girlfriend found him
Yeah.
Mhm.
because she was paid to find him.
Right.
Yo, so here's a question. What did she really already have that tattoo, or did she get that tattoo to impress him?
Ooh, good point.
Because is that how dedicated she was to her character?
Is it
I
a
don't
real
know.
tattoo or a temporary one?
Well, she
One
said
of
it
those
don't wash off.
long-lasting ones. Well, some of them are really long lasting. Some of the
Mhm.
temporary ones.
Where they
Yeah, the
they
henna.
were with each other long enough for him to see it washed off, because they have like
Yeah.
semi-permanent, like henna type tattoos that they can
Yeah.
put on.
Well, also, it's a stupid fucking tattoo. It's the dumbest tattoo I've ever seen.
Well, it's optimistic
would-
owl. It's like getting
Yeah,
a
oh,
Pushkin
look,
tattoo.
I see a fucking thing pissing on an owl on a billboard. I like that. Let me get that on my body for the rest of my life.
I
Mhm.
mean, I've seen people with the Calvin and Hobbes thing pissing on various things. Just Calvin
Really?
peeing on
That people
things.
get that tattooed on? It's the same thing,
Sure.
really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But right
It's-
here,
This world where instead of
Right on
basically
the outside
instead
of
of
your forearm.
people that do comic strips, the people that do greeting cards are that level of famous. So instead of Jim Davis, you got this guy.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's like having a famous artwork thing put on your arm.
So I think that's kind of the
Sweet.
approach that they took, is basically these greeting card writers are as famous as people that drew popular comic strips like the Peanuts, or so you have
Or
Charles
Simpson,
Schultz
like
and
a
you have
Simpson tattoo or something.
right.
Yeah.
So the owl is essentially Calvin pissing on something.
It's still a dumb tattoo. The Calvin
It
one
is.
is
in
also a
that
dumb
world, it
tattoo.
was the same thing. It was the Calvin and
Yeah.
Hobbes thing.
I mean,
Pissing
getting
on them.
Calvin pissing on anything tattooed on you is just,
Yeah.
at some point you're going to look in the mirror and go, that arm needs to come off.
Yeah. I've made choices.
I
guess
mean,
it's even worse if you can see it.
pretty much
either
every
in the-
tattoo I've gotten, I put thought into.
I mean, if I'm going to pay that much money, yeah, I'm going to think it through.
Not to mention the ones that are most visible, the ones people see the most. She had it right here.
Yeah.
Like right on the forearm. There's no covering that up unless you decide to basically just
You have to
wear
wear
long sleeves for the rest of your
yeah.
life.
That's where all my
That one looks
tattoos are.
dated.
They're out. They're always out. I got my.
Or you can just
Guys.
be some weird person that wears a forearm sleeve.
Yeah.
I pretty
All the
much like
time.
ruined the chance of getting a sleeve by getting like just random tattoos throughout my arms.
All of mine are circles. And every time I go, the tattoo artists are like, please
That
don't.
is literally all that I have. Oh, I can't even get it on the screen here.
I can't turn. It's in there. It's in there.
It's there. There it is. There you go. That is
that's
literally
what
the
I
only
know.
tattoo that I have.
Oh, it's coy.
My girlfriend
My
has the
son drew
coolest
that for me.
tattoo ever. Her name's Holly, and she has a holly leaf tattoo.
That's a
I mean,
good
it's
way to do
appropriate.
it.
Any final words about this film?
If
It
my
reminded me a
girlfriend
lot of-
has a holly leaf tattoo because her name's Holly, should I get a Bob Odenkirk tattoo?
You could, because your name's Bob.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be like one of those like life-size like Bob Odenkirk's head on your back,
Like Steve-O has himself going like this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good movie. Do I think it's a great movie? No. But I think it's something worth watching for people that appreciate cinema because it's very experimental. It's very different. It's a satire and it definitely speaks a lot more than what's on the surface. And I just love Bob Odenkirk as a writer and an actor.
I
can
really
agree
like
with that.
tragic characters, and I appreciate that this movie had the most tragic character ever, which is that poor cat.
Poor cat. It's a joint custody cat. I don't want to go.
I mean, I've seen joint custody dogs before. Like two people that love the dog so much. It's like, I want to have this
but
dog at least part-time,
it's
or
different from a cat. Cats aren't like
yeah.
movable. Once they're
Well,
in
he
a
also
spot,
didn't like the cat.
no, he just
He
did it
just
so he
want,
could fuck with his wife,
yeah.
ex-wife. Yeah.
It's like, I only wanted joint custody so that you didn't have full custody
Right.
Mhm.
of the cat.
This
I love
reminded
all
me
the
a
lines
lot-
in it too. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay, Bob. I was just gonna say this reminded me a lot of Eat Local or Eat Locals, which is another movie that was written by and starred the same guy, and it was really just like he called a bunch of his friends and were like, "You want to hang out for the weekend and make a movie?" And they were like, "Sure." That's what this felt like because
So
there were
it's a
so
bunch of
many
fairly
people
big
in it
names.
that it felt like he was like, "Hey, I'm making a thing. You want to be in it?" And they were like, "I'll show up."
Just for fun.
Yeah,
Joss Whedon did that with Much Ado About Nothing.
yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
had fun.
He's like,
Didn't make it with like a market in mind, just as like I made a thing. It's gonna be cool. I think I want to go ahead and make it and just see how it goes. That's what it feels like, and it was fun. I really liked the idea of the greeting card as like the novelist, the whatever. Like, oh my
Mhm.
god, are you that guy who writes these greeting cards? When nobody knows who writes a greeting card. Like that's not our world
right.
at all.
I will say that I really enjoyed this movie the first time that I watched it. The time that I was sick and I was incoherent and I couldn't really pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The second time, I liked the movie. I won't say that I loved the movie. Bob Odenkirk carried me through the whole thing 3 times.
Yeah, he was really good in it.
Stacy Keach to a lesser extent. I really could have dealt with not having watched Amber Timbaland in this film several times.
yeah.
It was a little
She-
painful.
She's one of those actresses that I feel like they just keep trying to force down our throats, but we were never really asked for in the first place.
Yeah.
There are
Like she just shows up like, hey, you like Jeremy Renner? He's got a new show coming out with his Amber chick. Okay, and that got canceled. Oh, no good. And then they're like, hey, you like the show House? Yeah, I like House. Well, that Amber chick's gonna be on House. Okay, for how long? She's already off the show. You're good. Okay. And like, hey, you like 2.5 Men? Not really. And like, yeah, we got rid of the half a man, so now we're gonna have that Amber chick play a lesbian and call her the half a man. Okay, what?
So like a slightly less successful version of Jared Leto.
Yeah, I don't know.
watched him
Everybody
in
hates him
anything.
now, but there was a time everybody loved him.
No, there was never a time that I loved him.
There was a time where I want to say back when he was in My So-Called
Pre.
Life.
He's good in Pre.
About it.
Steve Prefontaine.
Fight Club.
That's the only role I've ever
I
enjoyed
liked him in
in.
Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Nobody. That wasn't.
Yeah, I
Fight
heard
Club
that's
as
good. I
the
wanna see
guy
that.
who got his pretty face fucked up beyond all recognition.
Oh, I can go
In
watch
Fight
him get
Club.
punched. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I want to destroy something beautiful. I mean, you got that. You got Requiem for a Dream. You got American Psycho, like Fight Club.
Okay.
I mean,
Requiem for a Dream, he was really good in.
the movie where he played Nicolas Cage's brother, he was really good in. Lord of War.
So you're naming a lot of movies that are good, but not because of him.
Panic Room.
Like they were good movies that happened to have him in it.
I think he was
Right.
in a lot of good movies, and now because they were like, "Oh, he's the star, we'll make him the reason for the movie," and he can't carry a movie, and we won't stop fucking casting him and shit.
What about Dallas Buyers Club?
Okay, I'll give you that one. Mm-mm.
And what about Morbius?
You didn't like him in Dallas Buyers Club?
Morbius is a better movie if you pretend that he and Matt Smith are the love interest. Forget the girl who can't act her way out of a paper bag.
Oh, I love
She's
her.
also in Good Omens, and I never like her.
Okay, so explain to me how he constantly says throughout the movie, I'm doing the Wicked Witch of the East, bro. He constantly says, I can't drink blood. If I drink blood, I'll be a monster like him. I can't kill anybody. You killed 9 people in the first scene, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Already.
Okay, I'm guessing he can't kill anybody by drinking their blood.
He can't do more. He's done enough. Can't go any farther.
He drank their blood
However,
in the first
laying waste to them in a different way is apparently that line that he can cross. It's like, I can't drink the blood, but I can completely and utterly decapitate you or whatever. You know, it's
different.
As long as I don't lick my fingers.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to be doing a Morbius parody because I'm doing one last film project before I'm officially retired. And I think I want to have a scene where there's all these different vampires there, like a Lestat type vampire, and and I want to have a Morbius character. I might call him like Bormius, but I want to have him say it's Borman time.
Nice.
That's fair.
Oh god,
I'd watch that.
I waited so long for that movie. It was.
You've been involved in this other project lately too. What have you been doing lately?
Not really, nothing.
I thought you were involved with the movie that Matt and.
I'm doing Daisy Durkin's 5, because I co-wrote it. No, we did that. I did a short with him like 2 years ago.
Okay, so for some reason I thought that you were involved in the recent project that Dan and Brett were involved in.
No, well, a part of it was the short. Like they're using the short we did as part of it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm doing Daisy Durkin's 5, which is like the one we've been putting together for a while, because every movie we've had a different actors play Daisy Durkins. So we're finally doing a multiverse movie and having multiple Daisy Durkins.
I've got to go watch this. I've had that, like, I had something sitting aside over here. I'm not going to take the time.
It's somewhere around.
I would literally have to. If you were to see everything outside of the blur right now, you would be mortified by the just pile of trash behind me. Because I've been sick for about 4 days, and the wife has been laid up, and there has been no cleaning getting done in this house at all. So it's nothing. Yeah.
In regards to my future, though, there are no barriers to cross. All I have in common with the uncontrollable and the insane, the vicious and the evil, all the mayhem I have caused and my utter indifference toward it, I have now surpassed. My pain is constant and sharp, and I do not hope for a better world for anyone. In fact, I want my pain to be inflicted onto others. I want no one to escape. But even after admitting this, there is no catharsis. My punishment continues to elude me, and I gain no deeper knowledge of myself. No new knowledge can be extracted from my telling. This confession has meant nothing. Do you like Huey Lewis in the News?
It's been a long time since I've seen American Psycho.
Their early work was a little too new wave for my taste, but when Sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own, commercially and artistically. The whole album has a clear, crisp sound and a new sheen of consummate professionalism that really gives the songs a big boost. He's been compared to Elvis Costello, but I think Huey has a far more bitter, cynical sense of humor. In '87, Huey released 4, their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square, a song so catchy, most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should, because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends, it's also a personal statement about the band itself. Hey, Paul!
I was going to say, are we doing a table reading now of
Yes,
American Psycho?
Alex
have
Here's
seen-
me
Bateman.
working on a new
Patrick
American Psycho
Bateman.
adaptation.
Yeah, but are they going to reboot American Psycho 2, All American Girl?
Yo, so that movie had nothing to do with it, and they had to do a rewrite to make it a sequel. And like they pissed off the writer because they made Patrick Bateman actually a killer in it, which is supposed to be up for interpretation.
Yeah. Well, he's only in the opening, and it's just like, yeah. I
He's
don't
not
know.
even on screen, right?
No,
Yeah, but they
he's-
mention him throughout the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were to make a sequel to the movie that we just watched, how do you think it should proceed?
Boyfriend's Day.
Boyfriend's Day?
Boyfriend's Day.
Boyfriend's Day is the title. What's the concept?
How about somebody opens an e-greeting card company, and it's like a rival e-greeting card company. It's gonna put
Or they're
out.
using AI to generate e-greeting cards.
Does the internet exist in this world?
I don't think it does.
Oh, he's
like
on a
Zig-
typewriter when he writes his stuff.
Jib Jab is not part of this
Yeah, I don't-
world here.
Recall anybody
No, I don't
even
think.
using a cell phone?
Mm-mm.
No. Actually,
It was a simpler
no.
time.
Now that I think about
Yeah.
it.
I really want to know why bum fights, like, how it really tied into it. Because when they finally ask him, he goes, "It calms me," for some reason.
I don't know. I watch reality shows for the same reason.
There's certain like YouTube influencers that I think if they just one bad step and they would be in bum fights territory.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Mr.
I can
Beast.
name a few off the top of my head. Mr. Beast, yeah, I was gonna say I can name a few off the top of my head.
He was going to do that thing where he was going to lock somebody in their house for like months to see how long they could stay in their house.
I
And
mean, that
people are
Squid
like-
Games ripoff that he
people
did
are
was
like, you can't
essentially bum
really-
fights. I mean,
You're not
Mm.
really allowed to do that. And he was like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't
So-
think poor people care.
There's a meme that goes around that says, "At least once a month, I randomly remember that Dr. Phil once invited the creator of the Bum Fights videos series on his show to confront him about exploiting vulnerable people for financial gain, only for him to show up dressed up as Dr. Phil and point out that he does the exact same thing."
He's not wrong.
I mean,
appreciate
At
that
least
the
he's
guy even
self-aware.
shaved the top of his head.
Yeah.
I don't think
He
Phil
really
is.
committed to the bit.
Oh, no.
No,
I
I mean the
refuse-
Bum Fights guy.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
Phil
give.
can't be.
I'm not gonna give Phil the doctor part. Just Phil.
Just Phil.
Just hey, Phil,
Mr. Phil.
Mr. Phil, Phil, sir,
Mr. TV doctor.
Because I don't feel like there's anything about him that I mean, does he have a doctorate in anything?
I mean, I'll
No,
tell
I
you
think
that
he's got he went to a school that like anybody can get into.
Did he get his doctorate just like TV judges get their judgeship?
Probably.
Yeah, I think he's like an honorary doctor. Let's see. I'm going to look him up. He went to Midwestern State University for his BA and then got a PhD and a master's and a PhD at North Texas State University.
Oh, so he is a doctor.
Oh,
A lot of times you can't. It's kind of like a barber pole. You can't put a barber pole up front.
maybe
if
I'm
you're not an
mistaking
actual
him with
barber.
Dr. Oz, who does not have.
Wait, Dr. Oz doesn't?
No, I don't believe Dr. Oz is an
I think
actual
he
doctor.
used to. I think he used to have a
He is
medical license. But
Dr.
it
Phil has a
expired.
PhD in clinical psychology. He has a master's in experimental psychology. And a BA in just
People
psychology.
that he meets on television.
Mhm.
He did a year of postdoctoral training in forensic psychology.
Hmm.
Wow.
Let's see if I always see Dr. Oz in Scrubs, though. Mehmet Oz, also known as Dr. Oz. So it doesn't say. Wait. Oh,
I'm
yeah,
looking
I
for it,
forgot.
too.
He has an MBA.
An MBA
Yeah.
in what?
It says MD, MBA. Wait, he does have an M. Is it MD?
Yeah,
Yeah.
MD.
That's what I'm
This
wondering. 'cause,
motherfucker
like,
told me that if I pluck my nose hairs, I'm gonna fucking die.
Your brain will leak out.
the heart surgeon turned
Did you say he's
TV
a
show
good
host. So he was a
doctor?
heart surgeon, a doctor of medicine. Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out who the doctor was that I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm mistaking him for somebody. There was a person that went by Dr. Whatever on TV that did not have a doctorate of any sort. Just kind of used it as a name.
Dr. Pepper.
No, and it's not Doctor Who either.
Dr. Pepper, really, doctor?
No, I've never seen that dude's
It's
medical
not
license.
Doctor Doom.
Notice
I have
Mr.
no idea.
Pibb doesn't make any false claims.
Mr. Pibb is actually
I
a
laugh at
woman.
my own joke.
The Pringles guy went bald.
For Dr. Pepper, that's why
Hmm.
the DR isn't followed by a period. Because it's not.
It's not an actual doctor.
It's
Yeah.
not an abbreviation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Pringles guy lost his hair and that glimmer in his eye. And so did I.
And spicy barbecue, which my daughter was.
The Pringles guy was actually he was buried. He was cremated and buried in a Pringles can.
Really?
Mm.
We went to a memorial service last weekend for one of Matt's relatives.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? I don't know. So they had his relatives' ashes in it looked like a Pringle can. So his sister pulled the top off and went, "Once you pop, the fun don't stop."
I missed that part.
Right before they went to spread his ashes, she was like, "Once you pop, the fun don't stop."
There was a terrible
That's your
joke that I
grandfather,
heard
ma'am.
in passing that I can't accredit to anybody off the top of my head, but just if I pass away, literally all I want people to do is I want to be cremated, and I'm going to have a list of my enemies, and I'm going to have you invite them to a party with the intent of giving away something, whatever. You can make up whatever the hell you want, whatever gets them all into one room. And then I want there to be breakfast, bagels, all sorts of stuff, coffee served, everything. I want you to take my ashes and put them in the coffee filter.
Gross.
That's my one wish. It is gross, but it'll be gross for the people that I don't like.
Right. Yeah. Your enemies.
Right? It's
I
like
want a
all the
reenactment.
people that have slighted me.
I want a reenactment of the scene from The Big Lebowski when they go to the shore and try to throw his ashes and they just blow back on them.
Yeah.
Damn it, Donnie.
Everything's a fucking travesty with you, Walter.
All right, I think we've kind of wound down about this movie. We probably wound. Yeah, no.
You have to tell a joke. Can I tell a joke?
Sure, tell a joke.
What's brown and sticky?
A stick.
Please don't tell a joke.
A Velcro turd.
That was not
I
the answer
mean,
I was expecting.
That's accurate. Oh, and then he tells the joke and then just disappears. Like, I'm going to leave you with that. Well, I was going to give him a chance to kind of talk about himself for a second, but he can end that way if that's what he wants to do.
Show.
He's ending that part of his life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you
That
for
chapter is over.
showing up for this movie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this was interesting.
I'll send it to Netflix for you.
I apologize. I'm sorry deeply. That being said, why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can find your podcast?
Sure. Well, we're the Strange and Beautiful Book Club, which is monthly. Right now, we're finishing up the Dark Tower series. And we're also doing We Are All Kosh every week, which is a Babylon 5 rewatch. And that comes out every Monday-ish. That's pretty much what we're up to right now.
I acknowledge that with a smile because you're talking about a book series that I've actually read, so I'm like fully involved with listening to that one. Like,
Yeah, I did not like the fourth one, so that was a fun episode to record.
you have gotten me to read a few books, so I mean that's good too.
That's good. Yeah.
I listen to a lot at work now because now I work evenings and there's literally nobody around, so I can put the earbuds in and nobody is like, "Hey, you're not listening."
Nice.
You can't do that during the day because you have to hear the walkie-talkie every time it goes off.
Yeah.
So yeah, yes, I work in a school and I clean up after children, and which also leads to illnesses.
I'm sure.
Lots of illnesses. The school I'm working in right now is like K through 8, and yeah, I mean kindergartners don't know how to aim, let alone not to pick their nose and wipe it on the desk. So, but I like kids. Mine.
Yeah. Mine specifically.
Mine specifically. Yes. And our podcast you can find pretty much where any podcasts are available. We're on YouTube, and we have Bob. He hasn't even let us log off yet, and he's asking if it was a good mic drop. Was that a good mic drop? Yes, Bob. Thank you. It was a good mic drop. It was an interesting joke to go out on. I wouldn't even know where to go from there.
It's fine. So we just leave it, I think.
We'll just leave that. So on behalf of myself, Matt, and Rachel, thank you for tuning in today, and drink some water, you thirsty bitches.
Bye.
Bye.